And we're back. Welcome back, everyone.
Damn, your hose is heavy.
Let's read the news, as always. Do you want to read the first one?
Okay. The Holsword Post. Military force reduction. Read all about it. The Maroon Palace has announced a reduction of the military size in a major restructure of the Swedish armed forces. The Ministry of Defense announced that work has immediately begun to adjust the forces and maintain force capability under the new changes. The Chief of the Armed Forces, Valken Kruger, has called a major challenge to the integrity of the military, warning that nearby threats are watching the development closely. The General Staff has voiced concern about the military applications of the changes. The palace assured the national security would not be compromised.
Swordland Today. You can read this one as well.
Okay. Swordland Today, second Kontanen satellite in space. Chairman Leon Maleniev addressed the world, announcing the second successful satellite launch from Rostoner Air Base, which has now reached low Earth orbit. The chairman praised the scientists and UCOSM that allowed the country to reach space a second time. The functionality of the satellite was confirmed when radio contact was established after deployment.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, I think we've got some shit going on down with the highway. Economic report from Lackhaven. The Ministry of Statistics, along with the Ministry of the Economy and the Central Bank, have delivered a preliminary economic status report detailing that the recession is ongoing and the system isn't likely to reach stability soon if we don't take serious steps. Minister Hull said the signs were negative. Simon! Fuck's sake, Simon. You're not supposed to say that.
Useless. Useless.
Oh dear. Although the question is, who would you rather have? Simon Hull or Janet Yellen?
Are we talking about capabilities or listening to their voice?
Capabilities, I guess. Although they do both have an annoying voice.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that Simon is slightly more useful.
I think so too.
Slightly, however.
Slightly. The Ministry of Education is reporting that a massive overhaul to the education system is progressing very well. All schools in Swordland will collaborate in the reduction of hours taught in citizenship, solism, and nationalism subjects. Okay. Significant efforts are being made to lessen the political indoctrination in education. Indoctrination. Other changes are also happening in the curriculum. Pedagogical. Yeah, I know the words. It's not something that you. I mean, yeah, pedagogical. Pedagogical. It doesn't sound right, but yeah, yeah. Pedagogical. Education improvements, like improved teacher-student-parent relations, okay, and the emphasis on critical thinking development has begun all across the entire country. That's what you need, critical thinking skills.
Oh, critical wave theory.
No, we're not going to go down that route. Minister Walder reports solid progress on many fronts, with few schools delaying in the transformation on political grounds.
Excellent.
Okay. A new police force. Holy shit. Karl Greiser arrived to a meeting to discuss the new police force after Livia informed us of his arrival. Lucian opened the door and let him in.
I kind of He looks familiar. Have we had him before?
I'm not sure.
Because the name kind of... No, that... I know where it's from. Never mind. So how does Carl Greiser sound? Hello, Mr. President, Mr. Gillard. What a sunny day, isn't it?
Are you trying to seduce me, Mr. Grazer?
It kind of looks like
Yeah.
the last
I
member
know,
of
man. I mean,
Y-
like, you kind of want to make
last
him
member
like
of
a...
YMC, last member of the village people.
No, I think he looks more like NYPD / Chicago hard beat cop.
I don't think I can do those accents.
Okay.
So I'm sticking to village people.
Okay, you stick to village people. The weather outside was beautiful indeed. Clear sky and sunshine made the scenery look lively. I could even hear the sounds of birds chirping from the palace garden. Good to see you, Carl. How have you been?
It's been going okay. We have tackled many security issues, but there are still some to go through. But more importantly, the security situation in this country is much more stable, allowing people to return to a normal life.
That is a relief. Please, have a seat. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable now, do we? He didn't sit down and walked a few steps towards the wall where President Alfonso's portrait was hanging.
I've been being uncomfortable my whole life. I too came from a poor family, Mr. President.
Well, we both did well for ourselves then, didn't we, Carl?
People like us know the additional steps that need to be climbed to get anywhere in life. Yeah, that sounds a little bit too shady. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, additional steps. Yeah, deals on the table, removing opposition. So yeah, I would say number 2.
Yeah.
Feels more
Sincere.
friendly. Yeah, sincere and friendly. Indeed, sir. One way or another, we took what we deserved, and life has rewarded us for it.
He is. He's a corrupt NYPD officer. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah, we must have.
Affecting me and my family. That's where I recognize the name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go for number 2. Oh no, actually no. Saying we owe him, he might use it to. I don't know.
Yeah, but then again, saving a life is something that we never.
Okay, we'll go for number 2.
Let's see here. Nothing comes free in DC, that's for sure. Very good, man, Carl. I still owe you for protecting me and my family. We can rise even higher if we dare to dream. As you said, I am kinda worried about the I still owe you thing, and he's gonna use it for something that might bite us in the ass later.
Potentially.
But then again, saving the life of us and the family kinda needs to be repaid somehow.
Yeah, let's go for number 2.
Yeah, since we don't know too much about him as of yet. I did my job. But beyond that, I would easily risk my life to save the president of Sword.
Excellent. He took a seat and corrected his posture. We have been informed of the establishment of the community police under the Ministry of Interior.
Yeah, Minister Graf has given me full authority to lead the new force in order to combat organized crime, drug trade, and trafficking in our poor cities and their neighborhoods. Their role is of a supportive nature. I've had many of my trusted officers scout hundreds of loyal community volunteers and train them in police academies around the country. The Coralani and Skinny gangs have presence in many of their districts. We need to protect and keep our communities safe. This is another step towards that. If communities, especially of ethnic descent, gain more responsibility in their own security, it could backfire. Crime families need to be taken down. We can't let them do what they want with impunity. How did we ever come to this low point?
Thing is, this is like this. I mean, if we formed a new police force, I mean, the Ministry of Interior. I mean, we gave them more money. They're doing the job. Yeah, there's a few discontents here and there, but it's gotten better.
Yeah, well, discontents is something you can never fully get rid of.
Exactly.
No matter what you do.
But this is almost like forming the SA, you know? Like, yeah. It feels like it. Like, it feels like this could be a slippery slope.
Okay, let's see here. They scouted hundreds of loyal community volunteers. Minister Graf has given me full authority to lead it. And the gangs have presence in many of their districts. I mean, recruiting from those areas would indicate local knowledge. So that's something that should be considered as well.
Yeah, local cops for local people.
Yeah, but then again, also, as number 2 points out, if they gain more responsibility of their own security, could backfire.
Potentially, you know.
I mean, this is probably gonna sound so bad, but if you have mixed communities and they are given responsibility of their own security, say more than half of the force is this minority or ethnic group, whatever you want to call it, that might, after some time, make them enforce their cultural rules upon the rest of the community.
Well, I mean,
they have police backing them up.
Yeah, I mean, we have something similar in London with the Shomrim, so the Jewish police, and those guys, I've heard from urban myths, they don't muck around. they have certain things in their trunk which they probably shouldn't.
So should we raise our quote-unquote concerns with number 2, or should we focus on the crime families in number 3?
Well, yeah, I mean, crime. Yeah, let's go for crime families. Yeah, although crime. This is the thing though, because
what I kind of see with number 3 is, even if the loyal community volunteers all have different ethnic backgrounds, they still have a common enemy in the crime families.
Yeah.
So as long as we can all have them focus on one common enemy, there shouldn't be any problems. Hopefully.
The thing is, the crime family. Yeah, I'm thinking like 1920s cops versus crime families, shootouts in the street. Yeah, if we go number 3, I'm worried that police officers are going to get killed. Yeah, there's going to be shootouts in the street with crime families and stuff. I can see it. I can see it already.
Valentine's Day massacre.
Yeah.
But then again, if you are volunteering to join the police,
yeah,
you should be aware that there is a chance that you're not coming home again. Especially if it is as bad as I get the feel from the text here.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, I think, yeah, there's obviously a risk of danger, but no. Well, yeah, the politics of it all.
But let's start with narrowing down our options that we
Okay.
feel might be fitting for the game, for the way we play the game.
Okay. Minister Graf has given me full authority to lead a new force in order to combat organised crime.
Drug trade and trafficking.
Right. I've had many.
Our options is we can probably skip option number 4 at least.
Yeah.
How did we come to this low point? It doesn't matter. That's in the past.
Yeah, it is, and it's very defeatist.
Yeah. So it's basically what we can do about it now. So, needing to protect and keep our community safe, this is now set towards that. That is more or less a typical, in my ears at least, a typical political answer.
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah, we're working on it, we have a committee working on it, so let's take next question, please, kind of thing. So number 2, number 3 is basically focusing on what might happen and what it's all about.
Yeah.
I kind of still feel that we should go with number 3, because as long as everyone has a common enemy that needs to be rooted out, we can probably deal with any excrement that comes down the pipe later and deal with that then.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna vote for number 3.
Okay, I'll join you on that one.
We are finding them already, and the community police force will cut their connections further. Our current efforts have been successful at containing these gangs. This force will ensure the reduction of crime in neighborhood. The Nargis, England, and Berger regions are suffering from most of the crime issues. Out of all, Estor seems to be the hotspot. The gangs are concentrated in that city, aren't they? Lilius Graf has a good security history. You will handle them with her. If you are successful, a better future awaits you in the administration.
Holy shit.
Number 3 kind of feels like a trap to me. Because promising him a better future might force him to cut corners and maybe do things that are kind of out of bounds. To kind of show that I can do this.
That's a very I mean that's a bit of a cynical view about it, but I mean, like,
yeah, but that option feels like a trap to me.
I mean, this guy could be our J. Edgar Hoover, though, right? Yeah.
Probably.
Sorting out our sorting out the gangs and the mobs, and then he could be our boy.
So number 2, Lilius Graf has a good. You handle him with her, but she already gave him full authority.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of wash our hands with it with number 2, more or less. Like, you two deal with it. Don't bother me, kind of thing.
Well, we are the president, and dealing with gangs is not beneath us. But I mean, we pretty much have no background in law.
Yeah.
So
and number 1, the gangs are concentrated in that city in Estor. That kind of shows that we actually have an interest in what's going on. I just can't stop thinking in RPG terms. Then again, number 1 might just be info dump on us.
An info dump is welcome.
Yeah, because it might be an info dump. One number 2 is basically, yeah, you two deal with it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go number 1 first.
Yeah, let's see if my
Okay.
feeling is correct. Yes, they have a lot of presence there. Our efforts are increasingly pushing them to act in the shadows.
The community police is driven by local enforcement and will aid us in our internal security efforts.
I also want to point out that the hundreds of Agnos Swordish, Bluedish, and Swordish volunteers are now entering training. Soon they will assist our forces. We are ensuring that people take charge of their own districts. By giving them responsibility and oversight, we will have them as our allies on the ground. Make sure that the force represents the diversity makeup of the neighborhood in which it is active. Make sure to pick the right people for the job and have solid background checks.
Well,
Don't arm the community police. We shouldn't trust them yet.
2.
To make sure that there's no bluish front thing.
Yeah, that too.
Mixed in.
But we want competency.
Yeah, but then again, also represents the diverse makeup. Because I kind of feel that number 1 kind of, to me, has the specter of racial profiling baked into it.
Yeah, me too. And that kind of diversity for diversity's sake. It's just it's just a box ticking exercise at the end of the day.
Yeah, but then again, having background check to make sure that they are not political activists trying to infiltrate.
Yeah, number 2. Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
And then based on that, we can work on number 1.
Yeah.
I have personally picked the initial recruits. My officers are evaluating all of them with thorough checks.
Excellent.
You should receive further reports on our progress and actions in the upcoming months, President Rain. I am very glad you have taken such a step, Mr. President. Well, I will continue my work if there is nothing else.
This man is very duty-bound. Thank you for your time.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for your time, Carl. Kind of keep a personal repertoire since you saved our lives, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to work with you, President Rain. Good day.
Carl and Lucian left the room. Okay. The news. New community police department set to debut. A special police department has been formed to fight crime in minority communities, combat racial tensions, and aid the locals. The new police force, Communita Polis, CP, will be serving its duties under the Interior Ministry of Swordland. Lilius Graf and Carl Grazer and other government officials spent the past months building the community police department from scratch. The unit will consist of officers from the local neighbourhoods who will be specially trained for community policing. We're ready, said Carl Grazer, the newly appointed chief of the community police. We are already conducting a crackdown at crime-ridden communities of our poorer regions. Our officers will be working closely with the residents of these communities, Grazer said. Okay. So we've got... we have an important decision with Agnolia, by the looks of things. And an important decision with Weyland. Interesting. Who do we want to go to first?
Kind of feel like Agnolia is probably the lesser important because Weyland, as we remember, having troubles with fugitives and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Which one do you want to go first to then?
I say Agnolia.
Okay. Let's talk about trade and this bloody highway. They're just like...
either that or the Island Health Report.
Trade talks.
Okay.
Here we go. Swordland 1's flight from Holsword to Stalport took 3 hours, but went very smoothly. we were about to touch down. David left his seat and came over while Simon was enjoying his newspaper.
David, we see.
Yeah,
Looks like we're about to land, Mr. President.
Yeah, that's the voice for him, I think, yeah.
Looks old enough to sound like that.
Yeah. I looked outside. I see Helgeland, the island between Valgsland and Agnolia.
So many conflicts over a small piece of land. The island can barely sustain itself without outside help.
Yeah.
I know, I was just thinking the same thing. If I was to choose a Agnolia Prime Minister, I would do anything to protect the motherland. I don't blame them, it is a very strategic position. Let's go with number... I would say it's probably say number 1.
Yeah, okay.
Basically to keep it kind of neutral for now. Thousands of people died fighting for it. I wonder if it was worth it. I suspect it will be one of the topics that Mr. Van Horten will bring up as a bargaining chip. We must be careful. Helgeland might be under the control of Agnolia, but the international community is yet to recognize it. For a good reason, too. Nobody wants to make an enemy of Valgsland, especially because the support of the United Cantana and CSP. Okay, we are against. We will cross a bridge when we come to it. Me included. I wouldn't want to do anything to injure our relationship with Valgsland. So, do we talk with big balls? Basically.
Well, I mean, Valgsland is a big player, right?
Hmm.
But Valgsland isn't that the commies?
You can click on it in his latest comment.
Yeah, that's right.
Democratic Republic. Socialist Republic.
Yes.
People's Party. Server-headed government. And mainly by tribal movement, isolation, culture, further away from the cultural root. King of Valgsland expand its border and racial station. Cool. So much text.
I mean, we could just go for number 1.
Go with brass balls?
No. Okay, we'll go number 2.
I'm asking.
Well, yeah, let's try and keep the peace, you know.
I agree. We should try to do our best to stay in the middle ground.
Simon folded his newspaper, got up from his seat, and sat right next to us. Aside from the point of Helgeland, we need to be careful with the additional requests. According to the deal that was negotiated so far, they want to sell us their steel for a higher price, and they are requesting easier access to our agricultural market. In return, they are promising cash flow and investments, especially in the Angland region. It's not hard to guess why.
Precisely. Agnolian immigrants in our Angland region make up a good chunk of the region's economy now. During the initial negotiations, they have brought up the topic of immigration many times.
Interesting.
The fact that we have relaxed our immigration laws will help tremendously. Let's see if we can shake hands on it.
The pilot made his announcement that the descent had started. David and Simon went back to their seats. I took another look outside the window. I could see Stahlport, the capital city of Agnolia. The large dockyards of the city and the canals appeared closer as our descent continued. Stahlport was clearly a fitting name due to Stahl meaning canal. So it's kind of like the Dutch.
I actually thought it meant steel.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. A couple of minutes later, we finally touched down. The plane parked. I took a final look out of the window. The welcoming ceremony from Agnolia was waiting along the red carpet outside. After the guards made their way out, I exited the plane.
It's a wave. Why not?
Okay. I waved at the crowd that gathered. There were many camera flashes. I started to make my way downstairs. Yeah, friendly. Hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Van Horten was nowhere in sight. Instead, I was greeted by the Foreign Minister. After handshakes, a couple of photos, I moved to the car where Sergei was waiting to make our way to the office. It's just like you get to drive, Mr. Prime Minister, but I have to. Yeah, you get to fly, whereas Sergei has to drive all the way up. You know.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Oh dear. God, how did I do his voice again?
I think it was along the lines of "Good day, sir."
No, it wasn't. It was like it was. No, it was like it's like a German type of thing, wasn't it? It was just like, you know. Oh, I can't remember how I did his voice. Good. I tried to rack my brain about how I did it. The continuity in these episodes is.
Yeah, continuity since episode 2. So.
That's it. No, I made him like a kind of like a Doctor Strangelove type of, you know, a good day, Mr. President type of thing. I hope.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I hope the flight was comfortable. Yeah. Yes, it was, Sergei. How's the drive? I got in the car, made our way through the foreign streets. Our convoy was protected by Swordish and Agnolia guard. That's it. Good. Yeah, it was like. Yeah, it's got a slight kind of Eastern, like, you know, almost sly type of accent to it. We began driving by the highway beside the port and saw dozens of dockyards and ships anchored. Some of the ships and machinery looked old. The city itself looked very grey and grim. The buildings had a touch of Romberg's famous monarchian architecture, with a mixture of Swordish signature domes and older ones. We were now on the main road to the office of the Prime Minister. Sergei Volkner, that's it, yeah. Looks like they are not too happy to see you, sir. I think that was the voice. Sergei pointed at the crowd that gathered on both sides of the street. It was a protest. They were shouting and yelling at our convoy. Some of them held signs written in Swordish. Swordland must pay its debts to Agnolia. Oh dear. You know, Mr. President, I never knew Agnolians were so ungrateful. Not everyone sees a great leader like you every day. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, let's go for number 3. Let's be humble.
Yeah, definitely.
There's humility is important, but not in this case. They are always scared of Swordland's potential, and now they are afraid that a lion leads Swordland. They are afraid of you. The convoy started slowing down. We have arrived, Mr. President. Yes, like Mr. President. That's it. The car continued through the gates while the security vehicles went the other way. We finally came to a stop in front of the door. Sergei left the car and I opened the car door. I exited and began walking to the door where dozens of press and the Prime Minister were waiting for me. I saw the PM much more clearly as I neared the door. He was shorter than I had anticipated. Okay. Mr. Van Horten. Oh, you're gone. Where have you gone to? No, Terra, no! Oh, damn. Hopefully you come back. Well, hopefully he comes back, otherwise we'll have to do this by ourselves. And then the show will have to go on. Do. Welcome back.
Oh, there we go. What the hell happened?
Yeah, you must have lost connection or something.
Yeah, because it was not a Discord who disappeared.
No.
Because I only lost Discord because Google and everything else were perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That is weird. Right. Well, it seems to be working out, so let's continue.
Yeah. You want to be Mr. Van Horten?
Okay, so what does he look like? Kind of looks a little bit Italian in a way. Yeah, let's annoy everyone. Let's insult everyone in the world. So let's do a home-cooked Italian accent. Mr. President, welcome to Agnolia, and how to the beautiful city of Stalford.
Nice to meet you, Giuseppe. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. He reached out for a handshake. The press surrounding us had been waiting for this moment as we thanked him for the warm welcome. Just two. No.
Shake hands and hug. Overpower? No, we're not gonna overpower. So either 2 or 3, but 3 might be a little bit too much.
I think so. We shook hands and smiled at the cameras as the press took their pictures. He gestured to the entrance of the 200-year-old Parliament building.
This way, please.
We entered, and the press followed us inside.
I would like to present to you with a gift as a sign of friendship in between our countries.
An assistant showed up immediately with a large glass box in her hands. It contained a single parchment inside. Oh, is this going to be like some old, writ or something?
Old agreement.
Yeah, an old agreement. Like, yeah, you owe us 200 million quid or something.
This here is one of the first treaties written in between Swordland and Agnolia. May it mark the renewal of our friendship today as well. This is an amazing gift. Thank you.
We're here on a diplomatic mission, so I hope so. Agree with him. Yeah, I think we should go number one.
Oh yeah, may it mark the renewal of
Yeah.
our friendship. Yeah.
There we go. Our photos were taken again. I gestured at one of my retainers who was holding our gift to the PM. Wonder what it is.
Shit.
Gift
one of the original copies of the first Constitution of Swordland. Gift a sword-bred puppy despite Martin's known fear of dogs? No. Gift an ornamented ceremonial sword made with swordish steel. That kind of feels threatening in a way.
No. It's a sign of respect. He's, and besides, they're threatened by Rumberg as well, if I remember correctly. So it's just like brothers in arms. And
yeah, okay. I'll buy that one.
And didn't David mention about steel imports and exports?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 3's a better one.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean, Constitution, yeah, and yeah, you want.
But I mean, wait, since he gifted us one of the first treaties written, I kind of feel that giving something original of our first as well kind of balances out in a way. But then again,
it might balance out. But I mean, can you imagine an American president coming over to Britain, or anywhere for that matter, and say, "Here, I know there's only one, one copy of the, original document, the Declaration of Independence, but imagine if there was hundreds of copies of it written on the day when it happened. You wouldn't just give it over. Seems a bit silly to give over an original copy of the first Constitution. Oh,
yeah, but it is also a copy.
I don't know. Although we're not
handing over an original. We have the original copy.
Yeah. Although now rereading number one, we did make constitutional changes, didn't we? So, or introduce a constitution, didn't we? So.
Yeah, that is true. So basically, but then again, the first written treaties that we got given probably
I don't know. I still think
doesn't hold any power either.
I still think the sword is a good thing. We're here to talk steel and stuff. Here, this is made with some nice swordish steel. What we're going to be trading over.
I just feel like the sword feels a little bit threatening.
It's not threatening. I mean, it's a peace sword.
But I mean, as Sergei mentioned as we were coming, that they fear us. Why would we hand them a sword? But then again, it could also be like, here, this is our promise to help you defend yourself, or something. I guess it could be interpreted.
Yeah, it's just I mean, it's a share of friendship, right? It's like, as you say, it's sharing a weapon. It's we have an alliance. If we're going to go into immigration and borders that are potentially going to be open, trade, you're seen as an ally at that point. You can't have open borders with someone that you see as a threat.
No, that is True, but well, let's just put it like this: if I were playing this game, I would probably choose number 1. But since you're in control of the clicky thing, I guess I have no real option then about you.
Oh, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, yeah, it's our constitution. It's like,
Yeah, but since it is a original copy, and as you said, since we made changes to it, that copy doesn't hold any power whatsoever.
well, I mean, it's
probably just like the written treaty that we received doesn't have any powers anymore because there probably been a lot of changes to the treaty since it was written.
perhaps, but yeah, it's an exchange of cultures and ideas and documents and stuff like that. Okay, I do agree with you in part.
And I agree with you in part.
I'm being kind this session. I'm going to go for number 1. Okay, our gift was one of the original copies of the first constitutions in Swordland.
Ah, an excellent copy. I have always wondered what one of the regionals looked like. Thank you for this excellent gift.
The cameras flashed once again.
Let's go to my office. Follow me.
I followed him, and we entered the office of the Prime Minister. It was a room of wooden, minimalist decoration. It was far more modest than I had expected. We sat down, he leaned back and made himself comfortable.
Jeez. Thankfully done with the ceremonies. Wait, what happened to your accent? Oh, fuck you.
We can just nod.
I guess.
He got up from his chair and moved over to the bar. Now, we should have brought Peter.
No.
There were many varieties of liquor.
You know he would disappear within 15 minutes and go away with the closest secretary.
That's probably right, yeah.
Would you like a drink, Mr. Rain?
Oh, you changed your voice?
Yeah, now that the charade is over.
Yeah.
Agnolia and vodka. Let's try their stuff.
Okay, sure.
As a sign of trust.
We'll ask for the vodka.
Ah, you know your drink. Well, we're friends with Peter Vector. What do you expect?
Yeah. He poured the drinks and gave mine to me before sitting down again.
True gentleman. I can respect that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, a gentleman for pouring a drink, that's... Yeah, okay.
This is how we do things in Agnolia, Mr. Rain. I appreciate the kind of words, but flattery alone won't sway me this day. First of all, I'd like to say that I have been watching your recent changes to the immigration policy. I'm glad that you've decided to keep it relaxed. Immigrants are very important for beneficial economical development, and we believe that very much in Agnolia. It is reassuring to see Solon move into a more modern direction.
Thank you, I guess.
Yeah, let's not go hostile.
He took a sip of his vodka.
You're saying it backwards, huh? So tell me, Mr. Rain, is Swordland a reliable trading partner to Agnolia?
Yes, we're building a road to you, silly sod. That's, yeah.
If you keep acting like you have the upper hand, as long as Agnolia is a reliable trading partner, of course, Miss Monroe, you can trust Swordland. I would say probably number 2 or 3. Because if he's asking us if we're reliable, we might say the same to him. We are reliable as long as you're reliable.
I think that's, I mean, that's on the rougher side of cordial, though, number 2. It's just like, oh, I am if you are. It's not very, it's like, of course, we're here. We're, yeah, we've kept our policies as liberal as we dare. I think number three.
So- All right.
Yeah, let's do number 3.
Very good.
He paused for a moment. Oh dear.
It was a good move to start building that highway. Overall, this will positively affect our trade.
That's good.
Well done, Mr. Rain.
Oh, now he's okay. Okay, I didn't do it for Agnolia. I did it for the people of Swordland. There we go.
Oh, well. Of course, everything we do is for our people.
Mr. Van Horten leaned back further in contemplation. Okay, yeah, this one's a bit of a wiry bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change the course
Yeah.
of our nations. Let's do it.
I like that. That
Yeah.
sounds like another outstretched hand. Let's work together kind of thing.
Yeah.
First of all, if we shake hands on it, this agreement is going to be really beneficial for both of us.
We hope so. We need the money.
You should be able to solve your recession in no time with the investment and money flow coming from us. This is, as you know, on top of the reduced tariffs for trade in between our countries. Of course, in return, as discussed between my people and your people before, you will allow us privileged access to your agricultural market.
I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, right? But the drive through, there was a lot of ships in harbour, some outdated infrastructure of theirs, and it looked pretty grey and grim.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they don't use the money they save by not upgrading on trade.
That's a fair point, but I mean, what if we go down this route and the investment is minimal? It's negligible. We have to be
Investment
prepared for that.
Yeah, investment doesn't necessarily mean a lot of money.
Exactly.
You will be buying steel from us for a higher price, which is a small price to pay, really. That is the deal. So hang on. He invited us to talk about a trade. He wants us to buy his steel at a higher price.
That was discussed on the plane.
And he wants privileged access to our agricultural market.
Yeah.
And in return, he promised investment from their side,
right?
Without giving any indication of how much it will be.
Let's roll it back a little bit, right? So, agricultural market. He's got people to feed. He wants privileged access.
Whatever that means.
Sure, we can potentially increase our output thanks to their investment and their buying into our markets, as well as infrastructure upgrades from the steel that we buy. I think it's a win-win, so long as it goes the way I think.
Well, I kind of see on a bigger scale, he wants two things from us, and we only get one thing from him.
But I mean, here's the thing: like we've just made 200,000 people unemployed, that may well go into other sectors, such as agriculture, construction.
And that is true.
I think so long as it goes the way I think, we might be okay.
Which it basically never does.
This guy's a tough politician. I don't think it benefits him much to lie, as we are pretty much the only ally that he has, because he's pissed off Valgland by taking that island, right? So
Helgeland.
Helgeland, yeah. So okay, let's see where it goes.
What do you say, Mr. Rain?
Oh God, no!
I'm not gonna say I told you so, but okay. But then again, just because we get 1 minus budget doesn't necessarily mean that we won't make up for it in the long run, because that's how we have to think about it in this game.
Yeah. We've been warned about that in the comments. We listen. We listen to the people out there.
I haven't read the comments.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
You're getting a fan club, Terra. You're getting a fan club.
Oh, one entire person? Probably a relative.
I mean, it's one that you didn't have yesterday or the week before. So yeah.
Okay, well, hi, friend. I guess. Okay, so
Shall we spend money to make money?
Well, it is for the good of our people. It is a long term for trade, hopefully. And hopefully investment which might help smooth out the budget further down the line.
Hopefully.
We still have some money to play with, not much, but still some. Okay, so basically we either accept or ignore it. Or this is not beneficial deal for Swordsland, meaning we can negotiate. Maybe.
Okay, because this is David and Simon. Do we trust David and Simon? They're the ones who negotiated this.
Well, as you mentioned yourself, on the way here we saw what kind of state at least Starport was in.
Yeah.
And that didn't fill me very much with confidence.
No.
Then we were met with protests.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that there is something, the way I interpreted it, that Martin's government has said something to the people to go against us and use that pressure from their people on us to make sure that we sign it.
Could be. But the thing is, if we don't sign it...
Maybe I'm just reading way too much.
You could be right. You could be right. But if we don't sign it, does it then piss off England and then Rumburg takes advantage of the situation? I hate to admit it, but I am leaning on the gamble of number one.
As am I, because even if Rumburg would do something, we will hopefully have a closer ally than we had before. If Rumburg tries anything. They're probably not going to do much to stop the tidal wave of 1 million people on the border.
One thing to touch on, immigration. If this nation is as poor as we think it is, or we suspect it is, then that might cause competition in the labour market after we've just laid off 200,000 soldiers.
It doesn't specifically say that they are poor, as far as I can see.
Agnolia saw its economic boom in the 1910s and expanded their navy, and then they invaded in the late 1930s and lived through the worst of the economic crisis.
Two of them, even.
Yeah.
There comes another case because coming during the late 40s, more than many have emigrated to Swordsland. So, escaping poverty and hunger. Famous for its steel coal of fish. It arguably has one of the weakest economies in Eastern Ethiopia. Average civil rights record.
We could do this guy a favor and just accept and just see where it goes.
I am tempted to go that route as well.
If we're both weak, at least we're weak together.
Well, 2 weeks might just make a lacking.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go number one?
Yeah.
Okay. I accept.
Excellent.
Don't say it like that.
Before we dive into the paperwork for the trade deal, I want to offer you another possibility.
Oh, here we go.
I would like to expand on our newly found partnership. We have regional forces like Rumburg that has been imposing danger on both of our countries. I am of the mind that we must unite.
Yeah! There we go. He knows. Right. Here, we got him.
By the power bestowed upon me as the Prime Minister of Agnolia, I am offering a military alliance in between Swordland and Agnolia.
Shall we do it? Shall we enter a military alliance? But
Do we have any indication of how their military is like? Because if they are as poorly educated, trained, and equipped as ours, there is not much use for it. But then again, if they have a few 100,000 soldiers, that is still manpower.
I think if my mind rolls back, I think they said they have 140,000 and one army.
So that means that even
Two
if
armies.
we cut our army in half, ours is still bigger.
Yes, but
And about to become better equipped as well.
But we have to remember that this guy, even though we've faced rumblings from Rumburg, they have too, but this guy also has a territorial dispute with Valsland.
Yeah, but you also but you also gotta look at it from the other side. If Rumburg sees us two enter an alliance together, that might actually push the buttons to actually invade.
But game wise, and being a bit meta about this, Rumburg could be a red herring, and the fact that if we enter into a military alliance, we have to acknowledge that if he goes to war with Valsland over that island, we get dragged into.
Yeah, so he can basically pummel his enemies before we entered. And basically, as you said, we are expected to come in and help.
Yeah.
So he could actually start a lot of wars and we will suffer for it.
Yeah. I mean, this is the Swedish politics series, and it's quite funny. Actually, I wanted to bring this up. When we started this, Sweden was very neutral, and we know which way Sweden is swaying right now.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But that's politics, and I am nowhere near trained or knowledgeable in politics. So, okay. So very well. Except Sweden is not ready to go that far with Agnolia. I'm kind of leaning towards number 2 to actually see if they can for starters, see if they can back up their promise of investment for a country that is this poor.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if we accept to an alliance, that means that we are going to have to fight their wars.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
So I would say we hold off on the military alliance.
I think that's the safer option.
And also, we're in the middle of upgrading our army, so having an alliance now, and he's starting to mess around with some of his enemies and expect us to come help him.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit further down the line if things turn.
It's too risky.
At this point, yes, definitely.
Okay, 2 it is.
That is unfortunate. It would have been beneficial against a Rumburg threat, however. Agnolia can stand by itself against any threat just fine. But there is another topic I would like to bring up.
Here we go.
As you know, Helgeland has been there we go. Has been long contested in both Agnolia and Bergsland. Those warmongers want to take back the island. You know how the international community does not recognize our rightful claim on the island, including Swordland. Wouldn't it be good that Swordland finally announces a recognition of Helgeland as Agnolian territory? Do we want to get involved in this as well?
Yeah, he's asking too much.
Yeah, I would say so, because this is not our
No,
circus, not our monkey.
exactly.
It is understandable, but I won't push too much on the matter. We have achieved enough for today.
Yeah,
Well then,
he stood up from his chair.
we must continue the official program. As you know, we will pay a visit to our founder's grave for another ceremony. Afterwards, we will move on to the state dinner. After you.
Yeah. As soon as we left the office, I briefed Simon and David on the outcome of the meeting. The rest of our state trip was full of fake smiles, handshakes, incredibly long ceremonies, and even longer meetings between our ministers and their counterparts. When we came to the end of the trip, the way back was mostly silent. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief when we touched down on Holsword. Bam. And that's another hour gone. The budget's at -3, and we have just maybe averted being dragged into a war in a future episode. But I'm keen to go on for another hour today, Terra.
You know what? So am I.
Let's do it. Let's do one more,
Yeah, let's do one more.
and we'll take a quick 2-minute break to reboil the kettle, and see you on the next one.
Bye, number 5.